fans, let's talk a little super stock action. The national title race is red hot, and we got a couple first career feature wins here to talk about too. Let's get to Ryan's recap, and then we'll get to this week's power rankings. First, let's start with a great birthday weekend. Terrence Spacek with a pair of wins. He won Friday night over at the Eagle Valley Speedway, the 20th annual Lonnie Lou Memorial. I'm here to tell you that it does not feel like 20 years since Lonnie Lou was going around the racetrack in that 14 car. It just does not seem like that long. Congratulations on that. And then Saturday, he went up to the ABC Raceway in Ashland, and he won from 8th, which is tough. I mean, because Steve Stewart has been a rocket ship up there, and he drove by Steve Stewart to win, which is not easy to do. That's 6 on the year for Terrence Spacek. Now, let's talk about the national title race. Kevin Burdick, a pair of wins. He actually held off Shane Sobrasky to win the Race of Champions qualifier over at the Grand Rapids Speedway. And then he went to the Hibbing Raceway on Saturday, came from 8th to get it done. That's 27 WISSOTA wins on the year. He has won at Cedar Lake as well. The reigning champ looking good. Shane Sobrasky, he's looking good too. He had a pair of wins. So we got second, of course, there to Burdick. And then he went up to the Gondik Cross Speedway, and he's kind of had Burdick's number up there. He's got a couple wins there where Burdick was kind of a little bit closer to him this week, but he's been tough over there at Superior, and he won the Race of Champions qualifier this past Friday. And then he went down to the Big O at Ogilvie, and he got it done from 8th, and he held off some charges. Andy Grimala looked really good on the bottom, and then late in the race, Josh Zimpel was a little quicker, so Sobrasky had some company, but I'm telling you, that 7A, a pair of wins, that's 24 for him, and they are very close in the national title race. KRA Speedway, Dexton Cook, the 78K, back in victory lane again. Of course, if you remember, he had some bad luck and kind of had to get back going again after kind of tearing some equipment up, just kind of wrong place at the wrong time. But 6th the first for the win over there, his 8th of the year. He's put together a really nice season in the 78K. Fiesta City Speedway, Jake Knapper, he got it done. He parked in victory lane, his 7th of the year over in Montevideo. Now let's head down to the Red Cedar Speedway. This was a really, really good race down there. If you haven't checked it out, jump on Dirt Race Central. They have this one. Dan Nisalki, he worked his way to the win from 7th. He started side by side with Jesse Bradetzky, who's been incredibly fast, and he got it done. He drove to the front. Maybe a little hip check there on Tom Karras. I'm just saying, right? I'm a Nisalki fan, but I don't know if they talked after that one or not, right? No Christmas cards because he kind of hip checked, but you know who looked good? Brandon Clements, the 71 car. It looked to me like it was his race to win. He broke something. I'm not sure what happened, but it was pretty late in the race where he broke leading. So we'll have to find out. I should have did a little research to figure out what happened there. But needless to say, Nisalki, he parked in victory lane again. SK Speedway, Scott Geiger, he got it done. His first win of the year over in Unity. So back-to-back weeks with a non-SpaceX winning. I think that might be the first time that's happened all year over there. So let's go to the Cedar Lake Speedway. We just talked about Jesse Radetzky. Well, he wasn't going to go too many nights in a row without a win. And he took advantage of a late race caution and kind of snookered Ron Mader to get the win. 14 on the season. I'm telling you, he looked racing. He was high, low, middle. It didn't matter. Wherever he went, the car was good. Really fun to watch over at Cedar Lake. Dakota State Fair Speedway out in Huron, Andrew Lair. He got his first super stock win since 2015. That is incredible. That's a long time to stay with it. So congratulations on that. He's got an old Aero chassis too. It's not even a new car. And from what I understand, it's his first win in Huron since 2007. So man, that one had to feel good. Congratulations. Deer Creek Speedway. Nope. Not Ryan Wyoming, Brandon Doleman. This not a third-generation driver here. This kid's talented. He's a wheelman. He's been a rocket ship all year long. I talked about Wyoming a bunch, but Doleman, I think he got married. He missed some nights in there for other things. Otherwise, he'd be in the conversation with Wyoming. 7th to 1st over there, his 4th of the season in the Dirt Cooler. Madison Speedway. Here's a guy that ain't won in a I guess, all year long. Sean Ferncase, his first of the year, and he got it done at Madison. Now, I actually did a little announcing at Madtown Showdown last year, and he looked really good. I think it was night 2. Maybe it was night 1, but one of those nights, he looked really good over there. I'm kind of surprised it took him this long to get back in victory lane, but congratulations. I'm not surprised he got one. Rice Lake Speedway, Dave Flynn, he took he went south, he zigged instead of zagged. Typically, he goes to the ABC Raceway in Ashland. He's like, I don't know, I just kind of felt like going to Rice Lake, I guess. And he went down there, parked in victory lane, it paid off. He's put together a hell of a season. Dave Flynn, your winner down at the Rice Paddy. North Central Speedway in Brainerd, another third-generation driver here, Andrew Johnson. You got it, a Johnson in Brainerd. It's Sasquatch's kid. First career feature win. And tip of the cap to you, if you take after Dad, you're going to win a lot of races and shred a lot of tin and drink a lot of beer and have a hell of a lot of fun. So good job, kid. And looking forward to seeing that next generation of Johnson going on in dirt track racing. Halberline Speedway, another first career feature win. Jace Lynn, he parked in victory lane, second generation. Of course, Jeff Lynn's his dad. He's won a bunch of races and held off Kevin Saline to do it. And a little side note here, you kind of schooled your national point leader, Kevin Burdick. I mean, Burdick kind of threw a slider on him. He crossed him over, drove away. I mean, he kind of made him look bad. Okay, all right, let's be fair. The rain started to come down. Burdick pushed up the racetrack, but Jace Lynn held his composure when that happened and flat out got it done. So, no, he did not school Kevin Burdick, but he drove a hell of a race, and congratulations on your first ever feature win. So, let's get to it. The August 26th edition of the BuyRacers.com one-to-go show Superstock Power Rankings. At number 10, Ryan Wyoming. Got second to Doleman this week, but I'm telling you, he's been on the podium every single night except for the first one this year, and he only races Deer Creek. He's been really, really good down there. Hell of a season for Wyoming. I really would like to see him race some invites. I don't know that he will. He just kind of races that one track, but we'll see what the postseason brings. Number 9, Justin Tammon. 9 straight podiums, but I said it last week. He didn't start off the second row. You know, I think he had 7 in a row where he was in the top 2, 6 wins, 1 second. And I'm like, let's see if this dude does if he starts third, fourth row. And he did this week, and he got third both nights. Still good, still really solid, but that just goes to show you that starting position kind of plays a little factor once in a while, let's be honest. Number 8, Terrence Spacek. I tell you, this kid could be a sleeper. He don't race a lot. It's weird. I don't understand his schedule. I don't know if it's a work deal, school deal. I don't know what he does, but he can go on a tear for 2-3 weeks, and then you don't hear from him for 2 weeks. I don't really know what he's got going on, but he had a pair of wins this past week, an impressive one up in Ashland, and he's a guy right there. Come invite time, he could be a sleeper. He could be a sleeper. Them SpaceX, I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. There's a pile of them, and they all win races. Number 7, Jake Knapper. 7 of his last 8 on the podium. And his win this week put him at 7 on the year. Watching him, he's super smooth. Not sure what his plans are for the invites. I should maybe reach out to him and find out, because we got one more week, then we get into that invite season. Really like to see some of these guys come up north, but I think their track's race. Knapper's solid in the top 10 at 7. At number 6, Dan Desalki. 9 wins, including that impressive one this past week. Of course, Tom Karras didn't think it was real impressive, right? But I'm curious to see where he goes at invite time. He's got a lot of stuff going on with the family and sports and this and that and all that other stuff as well. But here's a guy, I can assure you this. If he unloads, he's in the conversation. Like, he's a wheelman. He's got a fast hot rod, and I really hope to see him in some of the postseason races. Number 5, Jesse Bradetzky. He's won 5 of the last 6, 14 on the year, and I heard a pretty tasty rumor today. I heard he booked his hotel rooms for the Northern Nationals up at the Gondik Law Speedway in Superior. If that's the case, I'm super pumped for that, because this guy's a hell of a wheelman. He's having a great year. That's one of the biggest shows of the year for super stocks up there in Superior, Wisconsin. And man, I tell you what, it'll be fun to see him go up there and join the 7-8, the 30, the 29. There's several that are fast, but I want to see what he can do up in Soup Down. Number 4, Trevor Nelson. He took the past week off. Surprised by that. I don't know if he had something else going on. I know a lot of their local stuff wasn't racing, but he just didn't race this past week. But 17 wins on the year. Really a guy that, unfortunate, he doesn't really have a regular Sunday track. He's got to travel quite a ways to race on Sundays. If he did, Burdick, Sobrasky, you'd have company. There's no doubt. You'd have company if there was a Sunday track out there. But, man, he's I said 20. I think I might have said 25. I said 20. I'm confident he's going to have more than 20 wins. One more regular weekend. They got the Big Buck Nationals. And then there's really not a ton of racing to be had out in South Dakota. So from that point forward, he's going to have to come over this way, I believe, to race. And, that's when the rubber meets the road. I want to see what he can do come the postseason against all the Eastern Superstock guys. He's got a good hot rod, but I think he's got a little something to prove there. Number 3, Superman, Dave Flynn. A solid 10-win season for Dave Flynn, your Fastlane Superstock Series champ. And this guy right here, this guy, Dave Flynn, is the guy that could be like the season record, right? What do I mean by that? So come in by time, the 7-8 and 30 are super, super close in points, right? And it's going to come down to full car count wins, which the Invitationals should be all full car count. And they're going to be going there with aspirations of leaving there with a 112-point show because they're both going to hit 30 wins. And the fact is, now it's going to be 112 be chucking points. This is a guy that could wreck that because he's extremely fast and he can keep them both out of victory lane. Number 2, the Iron Man, Shane Sobrasky. And I quote, "You go ahead and keep Burdick at number 1, and we'll see how things work out at the end of the year." He's hungry. He's hot, right? He's got a little chip on his shoulder. Burdick's fast. Sobrasky's fast. They've been both really, really good. And he's been on the podium, get this, 30 of his last 31 races. The only night he wasn't, he got put to the back, it's kind of a racing wheel. He came back to 4th, so 1 away from the podium, but ultra consistent. I mean, he's a little bit shy on win counts compared to Burdick, just a couple behind him. But my goodness, there's not a more consistent guy in Superstock racing than the 7-8. And at number 1, Kevin Burdick. 12 of his last 14 in the top 2, right? Big-time players play big in big moments. And that's what he's done. A couple 5,000 win shows, a couple big specials. When the money's on the line, he's performed, he's won, and he shows that the pressure's on him, he can get it done, and there's pressure on because the 7-8 and the 30, it's going to be a dogfight to the very end for the national championship. And those marquee wins, and he's got a couple more wins than Sobrasky, but those couple more wins and the marquee wins, the big paying wins, that's the reason that Kevin Burdick is taking down the top spot in the August 26th edition of the BuyRaceShirts.com One to Go Show Superstock Power Rankings.